From the minds of motivation, singing about the vibration, star supporters, true soldiers, earth fighters, deep down in my spirit, unite. What's up, guys? It's your boy Breaking News of Decoder. We're back in Division You Know It, as you know it, as you know it. Now, guys, in this video, I will be explaining to everybody what is the understanding between what is a second dimensional consciousness and what's a one-dimensional consciousness. And we're going to be going over how basically the subhumanoid family, which is the reptilians, the draconians, the elites, whatever you want to call these, all these names, all these alias names, right? We're going to be explaining how they utilize second dimensional consciousness and one-dimensional consciousness to basically suppress the free infinite being state of mind of individuals that are from the cosmos, which is black people, the melanated beings. Okay? So let's understand, let's break this shit down from the social point of view. Now in society, you have what you call education, institutions, you have a lot of system-based organizations that bring off concepts. Now what is a concept? A concept comes from the mind, right? It is a idea, an understanding, an expression that comes from your mentality, right? How you think mentally. Now, we are going to be explaining how the being higher these reptilianoid beings use purposely handpick and give the humanoids the blueprint and the construct to push out the social construct of second dimensional and first dimensional ideology. Now, what is a one-dimensional ideology and what is a second dimensional ideology? Let's start off with the first one. The one-dimensional ideology is basically thinking one way. Okay? It's not just thinking one way, but when you think of a geo shape, right? You think of the first dimension of a shape will be from point A to point B. So it'll just be like a straight line, right? So if you have a straight line of thinking, that just means you have a narrow way of thinking because you don't have multiple aspects and mentalities and understandings within your own consciousness. So therefore, you only think on a narrow path, which is one way, which only makes you one-dimensional thinker. A second dimensional thinker is somebody that thinks two ways, but they think on a flat surface. So they're expressive to a certain degree, but they have a flat expression of in-depthness. They lack expression. They lack the ability to elaborate on the understanding at hand. So this is where you have people that explain shit. I mean, they talk about surface level shit. So they might talk about, you know, they may say food, the pizza is delicious, and you might want more information out of that substance if you don't know what pizza is. But that person that only knows what the pizza looks like to a certain degree, and they have not really dive deep into the subject matter. They just got the surface understanding. They only going to give you basic levels of understanding, which only leads you to second dimensional understanding. Okay? So second dimensional understanding will just be like this. It will be a square. But this square will only be one from point A to point B to point C to point D, leaving you with just 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and it just be a flat surface understanding. So that's just a flat understanding of lack of expression. Think of shapes as ideas. Think of shapes as beliefs. You know, think of shapes as vibratorial expression. Okay? Shapes only become shapes through a particle vibrating and shaping itself into a sigil, right? A symbol, right? So I want to backtrack a little bit. Now going to the first dimensional understanding, right? If we are three-dimensional beings, why would they teach us one-dimensional concepts and two-dimensional concepts? Because they want you to stay within a 1 to 2 range of understanding, and that's it. They don't want you to be an innovative thinker, because then you will break the matrix or the paradigm that's being suppressively controlled by higher authorities. Now, one-dimensional concept is this. Let's say you're going to school, right, and you learning some subject matter, right? You just learning. Now, when you learning, they always teach you that don't ask questions until they call on you. Don't really use your mind, just listen more. So when you just listen to somebody mentally projecting an ideology and you're not having a level of discernment, or you're not critically evaluating that thought form, then therefore you are being programmed subconsciously to accept the mentality of somebody else's mental projection. And therefore, once you accept their mental projection, and however shape or form they express themselves, you will be imitating that shape or form through education. Education is literally means, when you actually research the definition, it means to recap systematic knowledge. What is systematic knowledge, right? Or systematic information? Systematic information is just you understanding the formation of a system that's based upon control point of view, which is one-dimensional or two-dimensional. Now, when you're learning math, reading, or any other subject in school, you know your teacher always tell you, don't move past the chapter unless I tell you to. Don't read too fast. Keep up with the class. Don't ask questions until I call on you. This, that, and third. This teaches your mind to become one-dimensional. This teaches your mind to only go from point A to point B based upon instructions given by higher authority figures. And this is where we have a thing called dogmatic practices. What is dogmatic practices? Dogmatic practices is what authoritative systems use in order to keep the masses at a sheep, immature state of mind where they can never develop critical thinking for themselves to become innovative in their own life path. Now, that is another form of suppression, but we won't get too much into the dogmatic principles yet. Now, let's stay at the hand. The hand is this. When you are in school, you only think from point A to point B, which is one-dimensional. You only think on that concept. Okay? You only think on, okay, if Sally goes to the store, then she must buy some food, and that's it. But a person that's on a higher level understanding, he wants to know what Sally is doing at the store, where she's going, why is she going, etc. Because questions are the keys to unlocking the doors of your inquisitive ability to unleash that reality for yourself. So questions are the keys to manifestations. So that's another key why they don't want you accessing higher dimensions and higher realms of understanding. Now, I know I'm terrible at pretty much the you know what I'm saying, the comparisons, but it's okay. Now, let's move it to the two-dimensional understanding. Okay? Two-dimensional, when you think of two-dimensional shapes, because I want y'all to look at this like a shape. Look at one-dimensional like it's a shape, and look at two-dimensional like it's a shape. This is what I like to call shape or geometric space, or geo space, which is the influence of space, the influence of shapes and expression on your spiritual state of mind, or your conscious state of mind, excuse me. Now, let's explain second dimensional understanding. Second dimensional understanding is when I explain this, damn. Now, second dimension, let's do this, let's break this shit down on a deep level. So, language, right? I'm going to do a language breakdown on how English language is actually a second dimensional terminology that we use. A second dimensional communication system that we use to communicate with each other, right? But English language is a second dimensional language. It is not a higher conscious language, because language pulls weight And weight combined with vibrations is a descended matter of who you are. If we are lighter beings, why are we constantly using heavier elements to express ourselves? Because those that understand the real information, they know that talking and communicating with vernacular expression is a lower form of expressing yourself in this physical realm. But I won't get too far into that. Now, second dimensional language is language that only have it's a flat surface of understanding. Now, when you look at the letter A or B or C, or let's say you spell it out. Wait, I'm gonna give you a random name. James, okay? James is a second dimensional name. Why? Because it's a flat name and it lacks in-depthness. So it can only go from 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's flat. So if it's flat and it lacks expression and it lacks in-depthness, then it lacks deeper understanding. Which means a lot of the language we use, it lacks deeper expression and understanding because it's so second dimensional. It's hard for me to explain the language because I have to visually show you what I'm talking about. Now, by you understanding that language is second dimensional and you are an infinite being and you are a multi-dimensional being, you understand that if you are a multi-dimensional being using a second dimensional language to express yourself, you know it's going to be harder to access the ancestors, the higher beings, and the other form of celestial life out there that you wish to reach out to. Now, let's understand this. This is second dimensional language is from 1 to 2, keeping you trapped. Now, let's backtrack back to one dimensional. One dimensional is a monotheistic way of thinking, right? It is one God, one life, one girl, one this, one that, right? That is you basing your whole life off of the one principle of nothing can go unless it goes the one way, which is wrong, right? This is what the Masons teach. They teach through schooling and through religion that there is only a one way through the door. There's only one way through this and this, that, and the third. But in the universe, we live in an alternate universe, a parallel universe. There is multiple ways through this life. There's multiple steps to be taken. There is multiple levels of awareness. So therefore, they've lied to y'all. Now, I want y'all to understand that we use a second dimensional language. We use one dimensional consciousness. Now think of your phone right now. Think about when you text, the language you use, right? You use second dimensional. When you watch television, when you watch videos on your screening, on your social media websites, right? Everything is in a second dimensional format. So what that does is it subconsciously teaches you that everything is second dimensional and it lacks expression. So if it lacks depthness and expression, it's flat, you're going to have a flat way of thinking subconsciously about the reality you live in because you're being programmed artificially through technology to see life in that sort of way. Okay? So realize, y'all, that the dimensions we live in a infinite space. But those that try to control the infinite space concept and consciousness, they will try to lie to you and make you believe that life is just stuck inside of a one-dimensional concept or second-dimensional concept, which is really not. Life is infinite. The universe is infinite. So everything is everlasting. Like I said, your phones, your artificial holographic screens that you scroll up and down, they have second dimensional formats, shapes, right? All you see is lack of expression, lack of depthness, lack of expression, lack of depthness. Then you see when people teach you about the one-dimensional concept, they teach you that, okay, this is one way of thinking, or there's only one way around things, or my way or the highway type mentality. Whether it's like a Simon Says mentality, where you only think that one way. Now, I'm not going to tap into the 3-dimension, the 4-dimension, because I'm going to get into those videos in the next video. But this video is specifically targeted towards 1-dimension and 2-dimensional understanding and how this shit is going. Now, they purposely did this, people, because they know that we are infinite beings. Okay? They know that we are very expressive people, especially the black people, you know, the God race. They know purposely that we did not speak, we didn't have a vernacular expression to a certain degree. Now, in Africa, we did have a vernacular expression, but our vernacular expression actually helped us access the ability to speak a high frequency. English, which is Anglish, which is Anglo-Saxon, speaking through etymology, this language is so suppressive to a creator that it literally stops the tongue from really reaching higher levels. This is why when people have to talk in English, you have multiple levels of understanding, multiple meanings behind English language. You gotta express yourself on multiple ways. You gotta really push your emotions out, because your emotions, your energy and emotion is trying to convey a message through a oppressive language that's only meant to be sustainable within a 2nd-dimensional level understanding. But if you are a multi-dimensional being, you have to express words in like multiple ways. So this will be easy for a person that only lives within a 2nd-dimensional consciousness or a 1-dimensional consciousness, which is immature state of mind. Because a mature state of mind is all the way to the 2nd-dimensional level of consciousness. But we're only stuck between the 1 and 2 because we've been trained to be stuck in the 1 and 2. Right? We've been trained that you can't do things without this person. You can't do things without that person without one. You know what I'm saying? You've been trained in that mentality. Now, I'm finna get out, y'all. I really appreciate y'all listening. This is a long video. I've been having it in my mind for a while now. I'm going to put my shapes and sigils up on the screen so y'all can actually see what I'm talking about. And I appreciate y'all for watching this video. I love y'all. Stay up, stay good, and yeah, peace. And I love y'all, and more peace to you, and keep listening, and I love y'all. Peace.